This presentation is on the sacrifice of the Mass. It was given by Grandpa Bob Young at Camp Veritas in August of 2010.
The difference between my father and myself, just a slight difference. Lamination. Right? Wonderful. Oh, it's great. Keep prepared. I mean, the man's been working on this talk for like 6 months, so please pay attention. All right? Because he loves you guys. No, seriously. No one puts in more time for this camp than Peter. Hands down. Yeah. So just to understand the sacrifice of that. You know, he's instrumental in everyone being here in this room today. And so anyway, that is our plan. So again, welcome.
It's a rare occasion. I never get to talk. You guys are in deep trouble. I held mine for 3 years. They gave me 45 minutes. We all look like you're having fun out there. Everybody having fun? Alrighty. I can't find my cell phone.
On your head.
Oh, good. It's on my head. Well, I gotta tell you what I gotta use this for here. Hello? Holy Spirit? We need some help down here. I'm giving a talk, and I'm not too good. I don't know what to say, and I got about 6 hours worth of notes here. So if we're gonna get done a reasonable amount of time, you better take over. So I'm gonna just turn over my complete brain and my mouth to you, and my feet. I like to walk. And since you are the friend, and our teacher, it's going to be your job to teach these young people about the Mass. And if this is a horrible presentation, it's not my fault. But I just take control of you, all right? All right. Okay, I think he's on board here. All right, that's your God phone. Now, it turns out, page 2. What we also need to pray for is that the God in each one of you, your cell phones and your heads are turned on right now. Because God's going to speak to you. Okay, so if you just kind of activate the God in your head, your God phone, you're going to learn something tonight. I'm going to learn something tonight. I'm curious to see what comes out of my mouth. So we're going to start out with this whole presentation has to do with the Mass. Now the Mass is called other things. It's called the Eucharistic celebration. It's called the sacrifice of the Mass. But most people just say the Mass, all right? And the question really is, why do we go to Mass? That's the most important question. And it turns out God has built a real cell phone into our head. And the reason that you were asked not to bring your other cell phones is so you could use the new cell phone. Because it's a lot more fun, actually. And it's easier to use, and so forth and so on. The idea is that with the cell phone in your head, called your God phone, you can talk to God and He can talk to you. And it turns out, God will talk to other people through you, and God will talk to you through other people. So it's kind of a cool thing. So by the end of this week, you'll all be using your God phone. All right. And God likes Twitter too. Hey, I'm going out for now. Okay, man. All right. Now, the key thing about a cell phone is how long does your battery last? All right? Now, some of you talk on the cell phone quite a bit. So what do you have to do? You have to charge it more often. Well, how do you charge your God phone?
Go to Mass.
Ah, good. It's actually, generically, it's prayer. But it turns out Mass is the most effective prayer. All right? Keep that in mind. If you want to get a quick charge on your God phone, you go to Mass. And in fact, what the Catholic Church says, if you don't charge that cell phone about once a week at Mass, your God phone's going to, the battery's going to die. And what happens when your battery in your God phone dies? You can't hear God anymore. You can't hear God anymore. And if you get hit by a truck, you can't find heaven. Ryan said our goal is to get to heaven, but you can't get there if your phone doesn't work. Okay? So, the idea is you got to charge that cell phone up preferably once a week. Now, it turns out, believe it or not, Ryan kind of mentioned earlier, the Grandma Young is a saint. She has to be. She lives with me. She's the mother of Ryan. She's the mother of Rob. I mean, how long do I have to go? All right. Now, a saint, it turns out, doesn't go to church to get holy. A saint goes to church because she has to, because she's using her cell phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Seriously. I mean, her cell phone's going off day and night. I'm just laying beside her going, oh, geez, you know, they've got a break, you know. Anyway, so the idea is, you know, if you're going to Mass daily, you're probably a saint. And you're not going to Mass to become a saint, but you're probably a saint and you realize if you don't go to Mass, you don't have enough power in your cell phone to talk to anybody. You just kind of, okay. All right, let's see, what else we got here? One problem is if you don't recharge your cell phone or God phone. Now there's another problem you can have. What if I just throw my cell phone against that wall over there? What's going to happen? Break it. Yeah, Bryce would be happy. But your God phone, what happens? What's the act that you do that causes you to break your God phone? Sin. All right. So you want to break your God phone, just throw it against that wall. Now, a bunch of little sins, you know, it's kind of like dipping it in water and having it back out again. It just kind of slows down a little bit, but it might work. But those accumulate pretty soon, your God phone's not going to work. All right. So how do you get a new God phone? This is the best part. Oh, the confession. That's what you're here for. You get a new God phone. And you can go several times a week. No? Isn't that going to be great? Man. All right. So we got Father Justin here, who's also a saint. He wouldn't be here otherwise. He'd be smarter than that. He just didn't have a choice. God said, go to that camp and give those guys a new God phone. You know? All right. All right. Well, let's see. Now, how many of you in here are priests? Ooh, I got one back there, my wife. She must have read the talk. That's what she's doing. All right. How many of you have been baptized? Okay, well, keep your hands up. How many of you are priests? Keep your hands up. Okay, we have two kinds of priests in the world. We have a ministerial priesthood, which is Father Justin when he comes and says Mass, who's representing the community here. And we have a baptismal priesthood. So when you're baptized, the Catholic Church is pretty smart. It recognized 2,000 years ago that we had a God phone. And when you get baptized, it recognizes that because it says, okay, you're a priest, a prophet, and a king. And that's another way of saying you can talk to God, He can talk to you, and you can give Him something. All right? That's really what baptism is for. And so that's what the church is telling you when you're baptized, that, hey, you got a God phone. But Father has a unique role there. He's a ministerial priesthood. Okay, so that was why do I go to Mass, right? Because I got to recharge my God phone.